Hej! Välkommen till Sledtraxtv. Det här varumärket bakom mig, det känner ni garanterat igen. Det är ju ett av de största inom klädtillverkning för oss snöskoteråkare. Och idag befinner vi oss i Idaho Falls på KLIMs huvudkvarter och vi ska få en guidad tur av John Summer som är Marketing Director. Följ med nu på en episod som ni verkligen inte vill missa.
This is on our phone. You gotta shake everyone. Business. You know, might have to edit. Yes. Actually, yeah. So testing the first thing is I feel like I'm on the.
Hi John.
Hey, how's
nice
it going?
to meet you.
Yeah, nice to see you. Yeah, welcome to KLIM's World Headquarters.
Yeah, nice to be here. I will just explain for our viewers that you are the Marketing Director on KLIM.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yep, that's correct.
And what are we going to see here today, and what is this facility that we are in?
Yeah. Like I said, this is KLIM's World Headquarters. We're based here in Southeast Idaho. And one of the things that we really like about being in Southeast Idaho, we're in the mecca of both snowmobiling and motorcycling. This is a great area. We have in every single direction we have somewhere to ride snowmobiles. Yeah. We get some of the best snowfall in the United States. It seems like we're always consistently getting snow. So, and as enthusiasts, we really love this area because it gives us an opportunity to, like I said, ride. But we also have a great opportunity to test our product.
Gear.
Yeah, develop our gear. And with where we're at, we get a lot of people coming through in the wintertime and in the summer, on their motorcycles in the summer, obviously, and, heading up to Island Park and West Yellowstone in the wintertime. And so they get an opportunity to come in here and we get to showcase our product and they get an opportunity to see what we do here. So
that's really nice. You're in the mecca of snowmobiles and also motorcycles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, especially for adventure riding. Idaho has some of the best off-road dirt biking in the United States.
We can explain to our Swedish viewers also and those from Norway and Finland that it's kind of a cool area here because it's very flat down where we are now.
Yep.
And you're famous for potatoes here in Idaho.
Exactly.
And then when you look around, you see mountains all the way around you.
Where our facility is, it's called the Snake River Plain. So it is very flat. There's a lot of agriculture that happens here in our area, but like you said, in about every different direction you go, you'll find a mountain range. We've got the Tetons to the east of us. We've got Island Park and West Yellowstone to the north. And to the west, we have several different mountain ranges. The Sawtooths, the Lemhis. Like I said, it's an awesome opportunity to be able to just go in every direction and get a ton of variety of snowmobiling.
Yeah, maybe that's why you're here and you developed your clothes to be out riding in these areas.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no mistake that this area has helped us develop out some great products. And there's a lot of great people that live in this area that we've been able to hire on and use. And for the most part, they're all enthusiasts too. So it's been a great.
And now you're letting us in this facility to see all the secret stuff.
Well, I don't know about all the secret stuff, but we'll show
bummer.
some of it. No, we appreciate you guys swinging by. We love talking about snowmobiling. We love talking about product, and we like, associating with the different people in the industry.
Yeah.
For us, it's more than a job. It's a passion, and so to be able to talk about our passion and be able to share experiences and stories. And I was actually hoping we were going snowmobiling today rather than taking a tour. But
it would be fun.
Sometimes you got to work, right?
Yeah, correct. Maybe some other time we can do
we'll
that.
do it next time.
But now we will head on and see how it looks like in KLIM's headquarters. Jan, now that we are in your facility, can you explain a little bit more what you're doing in this particular facility at KLIM?
Yeah, absolutely. So here, like I've said, this is our world headquarters. So in this building, we have all of our accounting team for the U.S. and basically for the world. We have our sales and marketing team here. The sales team focuses in North America. We do have the person that's in charge of Europe here, but we also have a sales team over in Europe.
Yeah.
We have marketing, so everything, brand-wise and marketing all stems from here. We also do all of the design and development here. So later on, I'll show you that area.
You talked a little bit about that you are making some prototypes as well, maybe?
Yeah, exactly. So we don't manufacture here in this facility, but we do a lot of prototyping, sampling, R&D work, not only for the soft goods, but also for our hard parts. So when we talk goggles, helmets, we've got a lot of equipment that we use to do prototyping.
Yeah.
Today,
I guess the technology develops every year as well, so the way you make prototypes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, back in the day when we first started, it was very complicated and very hard to take an idea and get it sampled. Now that we have a lot of equipment here that we can use to get samples and prototypes kind of close to where we need them, and then we work with our different factories to really take it to that point where we can sell it to the public. So
it's a much quicker process now.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And that's one thing that we've really focused on over the years is we want to control as much of the process in manufacturing as we can. So most of our factories that we work with, we've had them for years and years and years, and so we don't sub usually the development out or anything like that. It's all done here in our facility here, and then it's sent out to our factories.
Yeah.
So.
Because KLIM is a very big brand in our business, so it's really fun to see that you have everything in the same place.
Yeah.
And it's not different locations. You're
Yeah, exactly.
in the same facility.
Yeah, again, we try to control the process as much as possible. We kind of compare it to the telephone game. If you have outside sources that you're working with, a lot of times the things get lost in translation, and so we've really tried to staff ourselves and bring in the equipment and have the facility where we can really have that process dialed and we have ultimate control of
most of the organization in the same place.
Yeah,
sounds
exactly.
great.
So and then we do some warehousing here. They're actually a fairly big facility for warehousing, which mainly focuses on distributing product within the U.S.
Yeah.
So
everything goes from here to all around.
Not
US,
necessarily, no. So once it gets manufactured, we have facilities in Canada, a facility in Europe, and so product that is going to be delivered to Europe never comes here. It goes strate over to Europe.
Yeah. It sounds great.
Yeah.
Let's head on.
Okay, let's do it.
Model.
Yeah, they were going to take mine, but they thought it was a little too much. We've got an awesome sales team. Again, we want to control the process, so we don't go through, or at least for the United States and Europe, we don't go through distributors.
Yeah.
We want to control that process. One reason is so that we have good communication with our dealers. One of the things that we really value is feedback, and so with that direct connection to the dealer, we really can understand what's going on.
So you get the input from different sources.
And not only from just a business standpoint, but from a product standpoint.
Yeah.
Like, it's really important for us to get back and make sure the product's doing what we designed it for.
How many is it that works in this facility?
We've got about 115, 120 people,
Quite big crew.
Yeah, so then Ben has a PLM, product line manager that he works with, designers, developers, and this is all in this room right here.
This is the apparel side.
Yeah, the apparel side. Yeah. So they develop out a line for every year. Sometimes you've got carryover products. Sometimes you have new products. Sometimes you have redesigned product. But there is a line. It gets briefed out. What it needs to do, what it needs to have. Design tees it up, puts it into a form that it can be shareable amongst the group. There's a lot of back and forth, and then once the briefs get finalized, then it goes to development, and development has to go in. And
is all the development here, or is it on more places?
It's all here.
Yeah.
Yep, it's all here. It's where the magic happens. Yep. So as you can imagine, your product's only as good as the ingredients you use. So there is a lot of time and effort put into materials. Not only materials, but stitching and stitching construction and the right threads. And I mean, there's so many little details that go into the product to make sure that it's successful. But obviously, materials is probably the one that has the biggest effect of overall. I mean,
we can see you have some samples of the fabrics.
We've got a few samples, you know, and there's really some really cool technologies that are coming out, you know, and some things that we can apply directly to what we do.
So, Jon, what's the next big thing in fabrics?
I can't tell you that.
Oh,
it's tough
is there a
secret.
next thing?
No, there's always a next thing. You know, there's some really cool stuff out there from a strength standpoint. You know, down to the fiber itself and how strong it is. So kind of this combination between lightweight and strength.
Light and strong, and you want moisture out.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything.
Yeah, yes. There's a lot of neat stuff. There's some things. You know, within how we do electric heating within the product, you know, that's a huge topic right now.
Okay.
You know, we offer a few different items that heat through electricity.
Yeah.
So there's that technology is rapidly increasing, and how it works and how efficient it is, and battery life and different things like that. So I guess you call it electrification is a really big frontier right now that we're working on.
We're now standing here with the 2025 collection. Jon, can you tell us something about the news for this year?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've got a couple really cool pieces coming out. So within our crossover section, we've got a new jacket called the Element. Super excited about that. Gore-Tex, so you've got the waterproof breathability.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is it's got some thin insulation in it. You know, there's a lot of people out there that ride that like to just start off with a little more within the jacket, and so this is a jacket that will be great for, you know, people that, you know, maybe they're a little more cold-blooded, they need just a little more insulation, or they're riding in a variety of conditions. You know, maybe they're going out with the family and riding, you know, on
if
rides.
It gets too warm, you maybe can open this.
Yeah, you open the vents. Yeah, you know, and again, it's one of those things where not every product fits every single person, so we like to offer a variety of pieces.
You're expanding, so you have more insulation in some gear and a thinner layer in this one.
Yeah. So again, this is part of our what we consider our crossover offering, the Element jacket that will be available this fall.
And really nice coloring as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, our team does a really good job making sure that things are aesthetically pleasing. You know, first and foremost, it's about the functionality, how the product's going to work, you know, the durability of it, the waterproofness of it, but also, you know, it doesn't hurt to go out and ride and look good at the same time.
Yeah,
so,
it sure does.
So
now that we're standing here with the 2025 collection, we can really see that you have a lot of color options as well, and stepped up a lot from last year's.
Yeah,
more and more colors is coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and some of that's just following trends.
Yeah.
You know, with sled wraps and things like that, people are really into matching colors and different things like that. And you know, in the past, you could say we were a little conservative, but you know, we've come a long ways when it comes to the aesthetics of different products. But also, the thing that people need to understand is we add stitch lines and different things. You know, you start looking at places where product can fail. So a lot of times there are some functionality reasons why we do what we do. But yeah, absolutely. We've been able to, and with fabric technologies and the way colors hold longer, like there's some technology that we've been able to utilize that keep colors vibrant and things like that. So
not only going forward in the coloring. I see that you have a retro option there.
Retro, going back, hitting the 80s a little bit. Okay. So yeah, I mean, you know, so we look at what the industry wants and what people want, and there's definitely trends that.
Are you influenced by Berant maybe and his?
A little bit, yeah.
Old style on his sled.
Yeah, we take cues from a lot of different areas, from Brandt and from our other athletes. You know, from other riders and you know, what's happening with sled wraps and things like that. And manufacturers obviously play into that. So yeah, there's a lot of cues that we take.
Yeah, and we did see some other news as well, and we have some in front of us here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so not only do we have some of our soft goods that are new for next year, we also have a new boot. So very similar to the Adrenaline boot. This is the S1K Adrenaline boot. So you'll still get all of the great protection, support, BOA system, but this comes in 1,000 grams of thin slit insulation. So there's just certain body types that, you know, that have a hard time staying warm.
Because I think this version is warm enough for me, but I guess some people are much colder. And
yeah, absolutely.
want some
So
extra.
yeah, I rode this boot in 30 below this year and was absolutely fine. But again, there's different body types, so we want to make sure that, you know, everyone's comfortable. So this S1K boot will be out this fall, and it will offer just a little more warmth.
A great new option.
Yeah, absolutely. So
we just got a life hack from you, John.
That's right. That's right. So a lot of people don't know this, but this is a lifesaver in the deep snow. So you take this webbing and you fish it through this elastic that's on the cuff, and then you hook it into the loop that's on the belt, or sorry, on the boot.
Yeah.
And it
Then
will
it stays
not.
down.
It will stay down 100%.
Because otherwise, you can. Sometimes you can get this over.
Yeah,
the rear of
sometimes
the
it'll
boot.
pull up
Yeah.
or even in the front. But yeah, if you do it this way, the way it's designed,
Yeah.
you won't have that problem.
Sounds great. Yeah, Jan, we're in a new room right now. Can you explain more where we are?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, previously we talked about controlling as much of the development process as possible. So this is our hardest part area.
Yeah.
This is where we do a lot of our prototyping. You know, we have 3D printers, we have CNC machines. You know, we do a lot of work to get the product to the point where we can send it over to the factory and we're happy with where it's at. So,
Yeah.
you know, again, that controlling that process is super
Do you send
important.
hard parts or do you send computer files to the manufacturer, or how
We
do you
do
work
both.
with that?
Yeah, we do both. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously we work a lot, or our engineers work a lot with CAD and different things like that. So they'll do a lot of work on the computer, but they'll also send over a lot of the stuff that they work on here, the kind of the hard protos and things like that.
Yeah, cool.
So, yeah, a lot of time and effort goes into it
Yeah.
to build product. So.
I can only imagine it's a lot of aspects you need to have in the product.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right now, John, we have a really hot product from you, and it's basically when you put the power on, it gets hot.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So we've been working on this electric goggle for quite a few years, and really haven't been happy with where it's been. So you know, we wanted to make sure when we came out with this product that it worked flawlessly, and so that's why we spent so much time on it. You know, and we're really happy with it. The testing. You know, we have had people in the Iron Dog in it. We've had a lot of our top athletes in it. You know, this year in testing during the Iron Dog and previous, we were talking 50 below. The conditions were extreme. You know, a lot of different elements that we have to battle with that. And again, it really is a product that we wanted to make sure we had 100% dialed before we ever sent it out to the market. You know, you add a few variables to an already complicated product. You know, goggles are something that people have trouble with. You know, that you get out on the hill and you work really hard, or you take your helmet off and it gets snow in it. Like, there's a lot of variables that affect the goggle.
A lot of moisture and
a lot of moisture, and then you add the electric side to it, and there's just more pieces to deal with. And so. Again, this is something that we've worked quite a few years on to make sure that it was dialed before we'd ever bring it to market. And so this last season, we put the final touches on it, final testing. It has performed awesome. Very consistently, works great. You know, and again, it's one of those products where, like, I don't necessarily have problems with the traditional goggle. I'm not a heavy sweater. But there's a lot of people that are, and you know, all the results we've gotten back, people are super happy with.
Tell us a little bit about the new features.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, this is the Edge E-Fire. It is built off of the Edge chassis, so you'll get basically the same fit as the Edge. Again, you'll have the built-out foam, which is super important. If you look at this compared to kind of a traditional goggle, this is built up quite a bit more, protects the forehead, removable lens. The heating element is inside the lens. And what we found, we did a lot of work on how this element works, and you get a very consistent heat flow through the goggle, so you won't have spots of heat in places that are not. Again, that was the super important part of this, was to make sure that within our heating element, we are seeing consistent heat from top to bottom, and that's a really important one to keep the whole thing clear. Your battery pack, you have different modes, you have different heat intensities, but you also have kind of an auto where you can set it, and it will, based off of humidity and different things like that, it will control basically the process for you. So,
and maybe save some battery time.
And save some battery time, yeah. And we're getting really good battery life with this. I want to say it's about 8 hours of constant.
That's a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we worked really closely with some electric engineers from a durability standpoint. As you can imagine, with snowmobiling, you get super cold temperatures, cables and things like that can get really flimsy. So using the right materials to make sure that everything stays durable is super important. A couple other things. You can get a remote for this. It's additional, but you can keep it in your pocket and turn it on and off and do all of the controls, whether you want auto mode or you want to go to a selective heat temperature. So.
Okay, nice. It sounds really interesting, and we're looking forward to try this gear from you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, John, for this guided tour in your headquarters at KLIM. It was really nice to see all the stuff you do here, and also that we're ending this tour here in this room with the snowmobiles. So we see that you have the same passion that we do in this business.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate you guys stopping by. It was a great opportunity to show you what we do here and to talk shop and talk a little bit about snowmobiling and the commonality we have with the passion of snowmobiling. So.
Yeah, always fun. Tack för att ni har tittat på den här episoden. Vi hoppas verkligen att ni har tyckt den har varit bra, för vi har haft en fantastisk tid här i Idaho. Glöm inte att följa oss på våra sociala medier, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube och självklart sledtrax.se och sledtrax.no.